Evening everyone. This is a video I felt I've had to do because I am just becoming more and more outraged with people's selfish behaviour at a very critical time around the world, particularly when it comes to bulk buying and stockpiling. It's been going on ever since this picked up. Yes, I'm partly angry because it may be partly because of the scaremongering the press are doing, but people have got their own mindsets and they've got rational behaviour. And I'm sick to death of hearing about and seeing supermarkets emptied of every essential that we need. And I did make a previous video of this and I did swear quite a bit. I'm going to try not to in this one, so if I do, forgive me, but it just makes my fucking blood boil. There's just no justification for it. Yes, we are in a bit of a crisis. Yes, we're frightened. Yes, we're scared. We don't know what's going to happen next, and it's changing from day to day, hour to hour. But if we all pull together and start thinking of our fellow man, child, woman, elderly, and the infirm, and our care workers, and all the people who work in the NHS, we'll pull through on this. I mean, for instance, I was watching the news tonight and there was one woman there who's a support worker and she had had a hell of a day, coming in very tired, goes to a local supermarket and everything is virtually bare. She's got nothing to get. And she was near a breaking point. Now, when you go out there and start bulk buying and stockpiling, think of that person. Think of what you're doing, because it's because of your selfish behavior she's going without, and she may have very well treated you at a critical time in your life in hospital. And this is the thanks you give her? I don't think so. I know how marvellous these people are in the NHS and all our care services. I've got friends who work in the care industry. One of them a former workmate of mine, another, well, two of them former workmates of mine. And I've also got a friend of mine who is a full-time carer to her son, who suffers from ADHD. And it's hitting even harder because of people's selfish self-regard for their no other human being when they're doing this. And now she's in self-isolation because obviously with her son's condition she can't take a risk of him catching the virus. It is that lethal at the moment, and he's in a group that is at most at danger. I'm fairly at risk because of my condition for my heart attack I had, and my mother is there, and my stepfather is, because they're having to go into self-isolation because they're over 77. Now you think of them when you go in and buy 48 toilet rolls or more, or 8 packs of blooming pasta or this or that, and take it home for yourself. You're panicking. When we're on lockdown, they are still going to permit the supermarkets to be open so we can still feed ourselves. And the pharmacies will still be open. The NHS will still be there for us. The care and support workers will be there for the elderly and the infirm and the handicapped. Think of them when you go out and start stockpiling needlessly. Go out and get what only you need, and in a sensible manner. And I've heard of some cases where people are bulk buying, going home and then selling it online at extortionate prices. I heard, for example, that there was a pack of toilet rolls on there for £45. What are you fucking thinking of yourself and not the people I've just mentioned? Stop it. It is greed and it is totally wrong at a very critical time in all our lives. If you carry on, everybody's going to run out of food and people are going to start dying of starvation because of your selfish and self-centered behavior. And I am talking to those individuals and I am directing it at you that. I mean, some people are saying, oh, we may need it because ports are going to be shut off. The supermarkets have provided for this very scenario. There is plenty of food to go around if we stay rational with our buying. Okay, now stop being so selfish. In fact, I've heard the government may introduce laws whereby if anybody is caught selling this online, they will be prosecuted. And quite right too. Now, I've also heard of incidences of people still going to bars and restaurants, etc., when they've been advised not to because of the risk of infection. This is extraordinary times, and it is a test for us all. If we don't pass that test through our own selfish behaviour, then it will be an apocalypse. Now, the Italians are a fine example to us all. They are going out and they are buying rationally. They're not panic buying at all. And they're having it far worse than anybody at the moment. The death rate is going up day by day by day. And the infection rate is going up day by day by day. And they're on lockdown. I've got an ex-girlfriend out in Miller with her family. And they're on lockdown. And they've got high temperatures. And they've had to put up with this panic buying out there. And now they're getting to a stage where they're confined to the flat they're living in. They can't go out. They can't get to any of the supermarkets. They've had to shut them down because of the panic buying. Do you want us to go through that? I don't think so. So start being responsible with your behaviour, particularly when it comes to going to the supermarket. Think about that person. If you're in hospital with a critical time of your life and you're going out bulk buying, think of how that person must feel. They saved your life. They bent over backwards. They dedicated their life to saving yours. And this is the way you treat them. Oh, I'm all right, Jack. Sod anyone else. No, that's not the attitude to take at a very critical time in this world history. This is unprecedented. So I implore you, this is for the people in the UK, just think about what you're doing. Think of the people, think of the care workers, think of the elderly, think of the infirm, and for those of us who have conditions. And my friend who has a son with ADHD and he's having to self-isolate. And another friend of mine who works in the care industry. Think about them who have looked after you or will look after you when you become elderly. Every time you go to get that extra toilet roll or that extra packet of rice or extra packet of pasta, hand sanitizer, think about them. Karma's coming if you don't, and it's going to affect us all. We'll not only have the virus on our hands, we'll have mass starvation on our hands. So think about your shopping behaviour. Think about the mothers who are going without, the pregnant women who are going without because of your behaviour. It's serious, we're all scared, but if we all pull through together, we will get through this, and it includes your shopping habits. And think about the staff who are bending over backwards to keep us supplied. They are working their damn butts off. I know because I work in the retail industry myself. I've got work colleagues who have had to take unpaid leave today. And they have been struggling with their shopping ever since this crisis hit us. And it's going to get worse for them because they've got no income coming in. So think of them and help them. Watch your shopping habits. If You know, I mean, in some cases now, supermarkets are restricting what you're buying. And fair play to them. They're not just out for self-profit. This is a critical time for all of us. And bless them, they are basically opening up, especially for the elderly and the infirm, 2 hours a day. So think of them. Think of your veterans who have gone through hell and are on the streets. Think of the people who are on the streets. Help them out. They're going to need it. We're all going to need it. We need to stick together and pull together and think of our fellow man, woman and child, elderly and infirm. It's crunch time, people. And prove to us that we've got that human spirit within us again. This is the test. Think about it. And stop this selfish panic buying. If we do, we'll all get through for this. We will get through for it. I'm positively determined we will. But unless we change our shopping habits, we won't. And it's going to get worse. And start listening to what the medical experts are telling you. If you have got the slightest foot, if you're not feeling ill, if you're feeling slightly ill, stay at home. Don't go out to pubs or restaurants or shops. You can shop online. And yeah, it's going to be tough. We can all still socialise online, although we're confined to our homes. We're not alone. If we all pull together, we'll be fine. We will get through this. I'll tell you what, I'm not being funny, but if Winston Churchill saw how people were behaving in supermarkets and generally, he'd turn in his grave. And he got us through a very critical time in our history. But in fact, he's Boris's inspiration. And we've got a strong Prime Minister and a strong government now that are doing their level best to get us through this. Yeah, it's not going to be easy, and yes, we want answers because we're all scared. But if we all pull through together, we'll do it. And sometimes fear is a strength. It gets us through things. So let's remain strong, pull together, think of our fellow woman, child, care worker, support worker, elderly, infirm, veterans, those who've had misfortune in their lives, and we'll all pull through together. Anyway, on that note, it's nearly getting on for about 13 minutes, so I'm going to finish this video and just think about what I've said tonight. Stay safe, keep well, all pull together, don't bulk buy, don't panic buy, be rational, and we'll get through this. It's crunch time, people, and this is it. So think when you go shopping, and we'll pull through. Take care, keep well, keep safe, and I'll see you on the other side.